Yo, what is going on, you WBE type people? ItzSawk here with another coach interview, and this time I am joined by Joedor.
Hey guys, Joedor here. What's going on today?
I'm joined by Joedor, coach of the Seattle Seakings. So let's just jump right into these questions. So first and foremost, what is your team name for the WBE?
My team is the future champion Seattle Seakings. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, Seattle Seakings, and let's just hope we can go 500, huh?
All right. So when did you start playing Pokemon?
I've been playing Pokemon since I was 5. I got red and blue. Well, my brother got red. I got blue in Christmas of 1998. Back in my day.
All right. So when did you start playing competitively then?
I didn't switch to competitive probably until about 2012, and that was when I really, I'd heard of Pokemon Showdown, but I didn't really get into it in earnest until then. And by that point, I was doing a lot of Showdown grinding in between college classes and just learning randoms, learning OU, learning team building, that sort of thing.
All right. And what makes you a fan of Pokemon?
I think honestly for me, finding a competitive scene with so many different formats, from draft meta to Smogon's many tiers to all kinds of the random shenanigans that you can do on Showdown. It's a battle scene that will continue to thrive, and that's why I like it. I think as I've gotten older, I've stopped caring about doing the base stories more than once, and I've never really been too interested in shiny hunting. So being able to battle with creatures that I've known since I was a kid is what keeps it interesting for me.
All right. And what is your favorite Pokemon, competitive or not?
I think you already know that answer has to be Infernape. Infernape's an absolute titan in draft format, despite major flaws in the defense department. It's got an incredible move pool, it's incredibly fast, and hits like an absolute truck. But it's always been my mascot and the best firefighting starter, so it's hard to choose anything other than the Fire Monkey for me.
Hot takes inbound. What was a heat set that you brought and had it work well?
Oh, I totally didn't even read the question. The question was how had it work well. I'll tell you one that did not work well, but it had so much potential to work well. In Season 4 of the NPA, I ran Regice, and I honestly couldn't remember the full set because it's been kind of lost to time here due to some Showdown cache refreshing, so I've lost the actual set. But I do know it had Choppleberry, it had Counter, and it had Earthquake, and it was a pretty bulky defensive variant. And it was meant to take out a Salazzle and a Conkeldurr at the same time, which were the biggest threats on the New Orleans Pelipper's for me during that match that we had. I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for the fact that John is an absolute ninja with his switching skills. So he was switching just strictly to scout for what I had. So I went for the counter on a switch, and I went for the Earthquake on a switch back into the Conkeldurr. So the set fell flat on its face.
That's a yikes from me. Now, who would you say has influenced you the most in what you do regarding to YouTube?
I've always been one who attempts to imitate kind of the successful people in the format in the scene when I enter, a new thing like that, until I develop my own style or formula. I think when I first came into the scene would have been about late 2014, early 2015, and I think Shady Penguin was at the top of his game, and aDrive was definitely on the rise by that point. So those were probably the two that, as a creator, I looked the most to see what was the right way to go forward, how are people doing things and having it work, rather than just wasting time throwing things at the wall. But yeah, so that was the main thing. There were tons of other people that followed as a fan before I got into my own content creation, but those are probably the two that I modeled mine after early on.
All right, now if you could unbend one Pokemon or more in this WBE season, what would it be and why?
I'm going to be honest, as a OU player and longtime draft player, I really don't like the idea of bringing stuff out of Ubers. I think Ubers is a ban list. I don't think it's a tier. I mean, I know it is a tier, but I don't treat it as one. I really don't want to see anything come down out of a ban list once it's there. I had to be convinced over multiple seasons in the NPA that it would be okay to bring down Blaze Blaziken, Torrent Greninja, even Sandforce Lando I, which, none of those are that good, but just the fact of seeing those Pokemon have tools that keep them in Ubers, keep them banned out of OU, it's like I don't want to touch them. I want them as high up there and out of the way as possible, because the more things come down out of Ubers and out of the ban list, the more everything that's tier 4 and tier 5 becomes even more relevant than it already is. And I'd like to see more of that being utilized and less of bringing stuff off of Mount Olympus.
Alrighty then. With this, you recently started getting into the Elder Scrolls Legends card game. How are you balancing your time between that and Pokemon?
I'm going to be perfectly honest, I'm not. I'm playing what I like in the moment while maintaining uploads for this league. Right now that means playing a lot of Elder Scrolls Legends. As of recording this, I think my rank in Tessel on the Legends ladder is somewhere in the top 1500 range. Maybe it's right around, maybe it might have decayed a little bit today. I don't know, but I'm definitely much more passionate about Tessel right now, just because it's fun and I'm good at it. Honestly, if I was trash at it, then I wouldn't really care. Both games, involve a lot of RNG, of course, so it's it's equivalent in my opinion to the RNG of Pokemon, maybe even a little more extreme in some instances. But Let's Go in general kind of jaded my mindset of where Pokemon was going. I kind of don't like how Game Freak and all the companies related to the Pokemon company are tending to go for more the casual appeal route, and they're really not doing a whole lot to booster the battle scene, or anything like that. They hardly even care. Heck, I mean, VGC is doubles. Like they clearly don't care to make the 6v6 singles format any better than it already is. So it's up to us to do that. But when Swish comes out, I may reevaluate that, and I may be playing a lot more Pokemon than I am right now. But as of right now, I've been enjoying the time off, and I've been enjoying the opportunity to kind of clear my head from it. The only thing that really keeps me into it right now is the opportunity to play with my friends in the scene, as well as people I've looked up to and worked with throughout my entire quote unquote career. So that's the big thing for me right now.
All right, awesome. With the switch over to Tessel, what's been the biggest wake-up, quote-unquote, coming back to Pokemon?
The weird thing to me with coming back is how much kind of mental muscle memory takes over even through the rust. The same kind of thing was in place when I play Smash Bros. Like, I haven't played Smash Bros. Up until this last weekend. I haven't really played Smash Bros. Much in months. I didn't even play when Joker came out or anything like that. But I was able to jump right back into it and completely decimate at our little friendly tournament we had at my place. It's been knowledge, both Smash Bros. And Pokemon have been knowledge that I've kind of locked away in part of my brain, and it's just as easily unlocked and come back to. I'm prepping for my week 1 match against Luke. Like, nothing ever really changed in the time away to clear my head, and it's made my team building more creative and also, in my opinion, more effective.
All right. Let's see here. Which Pokemon would you make better or worse, and how would you do so?
I think the Pokemon that need the biggest buffs in general would be Cryogonal and Archeops. They're both mons that I've used and remember fondly in past seasons. Both of these Pokemon are absolute monsters under the right conditions, with Archeops being one of the best choice banded mons in the meta and being super fast to go with that, and Cryogonal being one of the best special wall spinners out there. I think if you created a situation where Cryogonal's stats were more of a blend between it and, say, an Avalugg, even with the typing as awful as Mono Ice, it'd find itself virtually unstoppable. And I think with Archeops, if you just took away its dumb ability Defeatist, it would be an OU threat right now. Like, that ability bricks it on purpose. That's the whole point of that ability, which is a shame because it just cripples Archeops' competitive use.
All right. As someone who's run a league before, what's the feel for the WBE like in terms of like the coaches, the analysts, and everything else?
So I've run the NPA for many seasons. I've helped establish the P4G. I helped establish the DBL, and I helped get the NPAAA, which was our minor league season, and my own stream league off the ground. And I think the main difference with the WBE, and maybe it comes from having so many well-established and long-standing names, is just the lack of bullshit and, like, not any real drama. people know why they're here. They want to win or at least put out some good content, and they don't want to waste time with any petty BS or anything like that. I think it doesn't hurt that when we're putting money behind it, we're paying analysts, we're getting a belt for the winner, we're doing a lot of things that no other league has done before. Despite it being a league with so much, I think clout is the right word, it doesn't feel at all like it's a clout chasing kind of circle jerk or anything like that, because everybody in it already has that clout of their own, so nobody's trying to thirst on each other, and it keeps the drama out, and it makes it a much more exciting league in that you don't have to worry about anything other than the task right in front of you.
All right. What is it like being the second best player in the house behind your girlfriend, Serene Grace?
The funny thing about that is my record on the whole is a lot better than hers, and that's not shade at my girlfriend, but I'm winless against her outside my own stream league, which was Showdown Base. So we've played each other once in the UBL, and she beat me hands down there. I had absolutely no answer for her Alolan Muck that matchup. I'm fine with it as long as I'm not the worst player in the house, though. ItzSawk.
Oh, you're real funny now. For those who don't know, I'm interviewing Joe. I'm sitting next to him, so it's interesting. All right, let's go to our speed round. So this is just some questions you kind of want to come up with right off the top of your head. You don't really have to think about them. What Pokemon have you had the most success with?
I think most success out of the ones I least expected was probably Archeops. It's something that gets 2 kills every game.
Your least favorite starter?
That is a tough one. There's a lot of starters where I dislike the base and love the Evos. For example, like the Litten line. I'm not a fan of Litten. And there's a lot of others where I love the base form, like Roulette, but I don't care too much for, its middle and its late form. But if I'd have to pick the worst line on the whole, I think it would... I don't think there's any that would truly be my least favorite, but I think it would be a toss-up probably between Chespin's line and Chikorita's line that fall the most flat for me.
If you're on any game show you want, which show are you on?
Have you ever heard of a show called Russian Roulette? I don't think they run it anymore, but it's you would answer questions, and then if you got it wrong, you would spin a wheel or like pull a lever or something, and it would start spinning around like bullets in a chamber. If you get shot, quote unquote, like if the thing lands on you, your platform would open up and you would fall down a chute. And I always thought that show was hilarious to watch. So I would definitely say being on that show would be fun. Obviously, it doesn't exist anymore. But of ones that I don't know, is Whammy still a thing?
Might be.
I don't know. Whammy would be another good one. Just big bucks, no whammy.
All right. Favorite Elder Scrolls Legends card?
Cicero the Betrayer, hands down. It's a purple card which, whenever it kills something, it draws cards as a slay effect, and that can stack with a bunch of other effects. So I love using that, and also we need to give Mother some flowers, wouldn't you say?
Oh, I'm already tired of that card. What's your favorite nickname you've given to any Pokemon you've had?
I really like naming Nidoqueen Olenna after Olenna Tyrell from Game of Thrones last season of the NPA. The Queen of Thorns doesn't take shit from anyone, and neither does Nidoqueen.
And the last question I ask everyone, blue or pink Gastrodon?
Blue? I don't know. I only use it for Storm Drain and Toxic. I hate that little slug.
Man, why does everyone hate Squeezy? Squeezy just wants to give people hugs.
Gives people hugs and suck the life out of them.
I mean, I can't help what it does. It just murders things. But for real, I think, do you have anything you want to plug, Joe?
I mean, other than my links, which I think are all going to be in the description anyway, not a whole lot. I'm just excited to get started with the season here.
All right. Well, I think that is going to do it today for us, guys. Be sure to check out all the other WBE interviews going up on the WBE channel. Be sure to go check out Joe. His links will be down below in the description. And with that, I'm going to get on out of here today, guys. Peace out, Scouts.
Bye-bye.